Hi, friends and family. This is Joy here. I am here to have not only our sound bath for our monthly gathering, but also to go over the astrological transits of the month of May. I'm sure you've heard all over social media how big of a month it is and how jam-packed it is, full of positivity, transformation, and just all around, oomph energy. Even though we are currently in the sign of Taurus, it is a very slow and steady energy fueled by passion and just amazing goodness. I'm not sure how sensitive a lot of other people are when it comes to energy, but if you can feel it, I'm sure you are just as fueled as I am. If you don't know, today is Beltane. It is May Day, essentially. It comes from, Gaelic traditions, the Wheel of the Year. I'm not sure how you guys celebrate, but personally, I celebrate Beltane. It is a Sabbath. It is the opposite of Halloween, of Samhain, and it is just as magical. So many people know that during, Halloween, Samhain, it is a thin veiling between this plane and the next plane. That means the fair folk as well as spirits can kind of reach out to us a little bit easier. We can tap into our guides and our messages and kind of get signs a little bit easier. So if you have been having very vivid dreams of the green man, maybe, or even grandma, this would be why. I know personally I've already seen my grandma a few times. She visits all the time. I love her to pieces. Um, but it is shocking sometimes to people who don't lucid dream, work with the other side, etc., etc. But it is, a great time to be able to communicate and reevaluate where we are, not only with our ancestors, our guides, but also refocus of this new growth we're trying to create. A lot of people have been planting seeds during winter, essentially in the last couple months, like last 6 months. There's been a lot of seeds planted, and so now is the time where the earth is warm, the energy's waking up, we're celebrating new birth, new animals, new beginnings. Now these seeds are starting to bloom, and we are just around the corner to watch it happen. And right now, if you want to celebrate too, there's many different ways we can do it. Many people in the past traditions have celebrated by giant bonfires and fertility rites and maypoles. If you haven't seen them at like Renaissance fairs, we get to experience those a lot. Or even just feasts representing, sustainability, representing a good harvest, representing that we can eat our fill and be full and merry and joyful and just have a good time to celebrate the passions we have not only for self, but also of our other mankind and the people we love. It is also a time of sacred unions. So a lot of divine masculine and feminines are starting to come together. Why? Because it is bringing about that fertility. It's bringing about that new energy. It's creating that umph, for lack of another term. So if you want to celebrate, you can celebrate with your partner in divinity, or you can celebrate with a bonfire. If you cannot have a bonfire, that's okay. You could be like me and have just a little bit of incense, things like that. An example, last night I did my little celebration because I like to wake up to the new day of, Sabbats, e-Sabbats, knowing that I'm waking up to new energy, I'm waking up to a new ideology. Hi, baby. No. Last night, many times I like to celebrate it the night before. So I actually celebrated last night. I did not have a bonfire. I don't have that type of opportunity, which is okay. I just got into this new place. But what I was able to do is I burned frankincense, I burned nagachaka, I burned mugwort. While these may not be as common for, smudges or aromatherapy, they do mean very specific things. Frankincense, for instance, is transformative. It's bringing about a change from physical into metaphysical, just like mugwort does, which is like a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. It's commonly drank or smoked, and it could be used to astral project or to bring about lucid dreaming. When you burn it like a smudge, it is cleansing the air and bringing about a a deeper sight in an example. And I'm sure you guys know last year was a snake year. So Naga Champa, Naga is snake in Sanskrit, and we have shedding of skins. And to me, Beltane is really the first big holiday that we are celebrating this new energy, this new year. While we may have celebrated Bollock, that is the energy waking up. Now the energy is pumping. We're vigorous, we're energized, we're ready to make new life and move on to this next new beginning. So I chose these not because I said, you know what, I have to choose this incense. I have to burn this specific thing. That's not how I work. I work personally more intuitively. So it wasn't until after I was burning things that I realized tonight is tonight, tomorrow's Beltane. Now I have a house full of smoke and it's cleansing, but also it helps balance energies. It helps rebalance the equilibrium, get rid of stagnant energy of the house. And frankincense is also a form of protection. Many people use it for protection specifically, but also, to drink internally or rub oils on your feet for inflammation. Amazing herb. Well, actually, it's a resin because it comes from trees. So not an herb, resin. Sorry. Um, but without further ado, I'm gonna get back into the astrolog astrology of this month. So just we're gonna start all over. We're gonna go back to the full moon. So we have this full moon in Scorpio at 11 degrees, and 11 is a very powerful number. It is a master number. So if you aren't aware, master numbers are double digits, and when we're looking at numerology, it's that energy plus that energy again and boosting it up, right? So 11 is a master manifester, and 11 is new beginning times like 10 literally. So when we're looking at how it affects us, not only individually but also as a collective, we are looking at where placements are within the 11th degree or in Scorpio, fixed signs, things like that, because when you have planets that are close in degree like 8, 10, 12, etc., you get kind of a wave of this energy. Okay, and it's a little bit more intense than Gemini would be affected right now. But it is a moon full of transformation. So again, going back to Beltane, but going back to fire being transformative and a very alchemizing of energy, bridging this physical into metaphysical. It's a lot of transformation of self even, and we are moving towards a deeper inner sight to see hidden truths, whether inside of ourselves or even if your friends, family, people around you start saying things and you're like, that's where that's from, or that's where it came from, or now that rings true. And it's because people are not really conscientious right now because the veil is so thin. And because when the veil is so thin, we're more so affected by these energies and things around us. So it's more easily to let slip things that we're not intending because we are feeling at ease, we're feeling good, we're feeling amplified. And it's kind of like, here it is. But those things, these truths are truth. You can't hide from truth. Truth will come out anyway. So whatever changes happen because of these truths, whether internally or externally, it is meant to be. Okay. Now that you get that, a huge impact right now that is affecting generationally is a movement that Taurus is doing. And we had Uranus and Taurus, and now it is moving into Gemini. Now, the last time we had this movement was in 2017. So that was a lot of years. And we are looking at where our value is when we're looking at this placement. And we're moving from how we can communicate to have that stability, how we have, you know, how we are able to hold that stability, because a lot of people have very little stability, whether it's from a supportive family, whether it's from a supportive job, whether it's from just your housing, your finances, etc., etc. We burn ourselves out very easily because we lose focus trying to create the stability when stability comes from inside. Stability comes from a whole mental space. Stability is peace that we have internally, and thus it affects our external realities. So while we're taking this movement from a very grounded energy where it's ruled by Venus, so you have love, you have positivity, you have relationships, but also finances because it's Taurus and comfortability. We're moving from there into Gemini, and Gemini is air, it's communication, it's ruled by Mercury, and it's very, very quick paced. So we're moving from someplace where we're questioning all these things of value and stability into how can we communicate to create this stability? And how can we move this information to get to where we're trying to go? So this is now going to affect us for 18 years, 9 years, just about just about that. We're looking at quite a few years, but we're probably not going to see how big this is going to be affecting us for another generation or so. So, what we need to be really focused on this week in particular is contracts, communication, and commitments. So, this week we are closing out any contract or commitment that hasn't fueled us, focused us, helped us, build us, loved us, or promoted positivity, whether in our lives or in the people that we love. And these, even energetic contracts, can hold us to calibers, degrees, and energies that we may not be interested in anymore, that no longer support us anymore, or have turned stagnant. So now is the time to let it go. I'm not saying release because I don't want to release anything. Um, I want to let it go. Let go those contracts, let go those commitments. Only pull in what's truly going to benefit your life, your positivity, your stability, and things like that. And this week is also all about authenticity. Yay. So, believe it or not, this is authentic me. And the reason why is because I personally feel when we are our true authentic person 100% of the time, we attract like minds, we attract people, our soul families, our soul tribes who are really going to support us, help us, heal us, and help us build. So it's truly not about looks. It's about our focus, our hearts, our energy, how we give, how we love, how we promote the people around us. And this month we're going to be going through changes, and we have two full moons. So this moon today and the next full moon on the 31st. And on the 31st, all this time period of change and transformation, things are settling from the last 18 months. This is it. So if you have done the work, if you have tried to heal, if you have been doing the internal and external healing, then all of these settling energies are only going to push you up. Whereas if you had the opposite and you fought and you didn't follow your instincts and take that leap of faith or take that change or take that opportunity when you knew it was for you, but then, you fought, you argued, you doubted with yourself, or even if you were doing harm or toxic traits or things to other people, then karma is going to get you. And it's not anything that anybody could really do. It just is because the truth comes out. And when truth comes out and truth is spoken, not everybody is well at handling truth and or actually listening, committing to it. Or what I'm also picking up is when the truth comes out, it is what it is because the truth is truth. And you can't falsify the truth. You can't put a blanket over the truth and pretend anymore because all the masks fell away like last month. Now is the time for Scorpio to go, sting, sting, still here, and bring all that up. Okay? So karma will happen, and I wish everybody the best. Karma is not necessarily good or bad. It is just a cycle repeating. So if you view time like this, that's not how time works. When we're looking at karma and we're looking at patterns and we're even looking at planetarial shifts and transits, that's a vibration, that's a frequency, and that affects us. And so time moves more like this. And every time we go around, we repeat that lesson or we go again. And we can stop these patterns. If we can recognize it, we could take the moment to internally see what these patterns are and heal it. Give you guys an example. Just a couple weeks ago, I had an experience that triggered me very hard. And for many people who know me personally, I have been through worst of the worst. But here I am healing, helping other people heal, guide people, sound baths, I do herbology, things like that. But just because I healed something to a certain degree doesn't mean it's not going to come back around. Every time it comes back around, you got to heal it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until finally it's gone. It doesn't go away the first time you heal it. That's not how it works, because to be to a point where you're not triggered is where we're trying to be. To hold that peace internally for forever. Well, I got triggered and it brought up an emotion in me that I could not place for a while. I had to give it a name. And when you give something a name, then you could have power over it because you have named it, you know what it is, you know how it works, you know how to work with it. Well, once I finally gave it a name, boom, it clicked in my brain. I was like, I'm not that. We're going to do the opposite. So, when we're looking at how we can heal mentally, that's another concept that can be utilized to name something and then thus be able to control it or at least have some sort of understanding of it. And the opposite of what that emotion or feeling is when it's a negative aspect can be turned into a positive aspect by doing something else. Whereas people who are, an example, depressed or have something, that they feel is stopping them, they could do the opposite. There is an action, a beget action, and a neutral action where if you decide not to take either path, a new path will eventually open up. And right now, a bunch of paths are about to open up for a lot of people. So I'm going to get into a little bit of what dates you should be aware of and what transits are going to affect us the most. I'm going to move kind of quickly with this because I would like to get into the sound bath and our celebration of Beltane. Okay? So on the second, we have Mercury moving into Taurus. This brings about, questions: what supports you, what loves you, what helps you build, what's boosting you positively, and what's not, what's holding you back, who is holding you back, what is stopping you, why is it stopping you. Questioning all these things because we're at this point where we're starting to refocus because now we have this new burst of energy, this new umph to it. So this week we're eliminating all these other things and refocusing on what truly we need to be focusing on. And so that's this week. And like I mentioned, commitments, contracts, those are things we should be reflecting on at this time. Now, on the 5th, we have Mercury squared with Pluto. Wow, that's a big one because that could cause a lot of arguments with a lot of people. Again, this goes back to the people who have done the healing and then the people who haven't done the healing, because when it comes to where Pluto is, it's again very big generational, okay? And with a square right now with Mercury, different generations have whole different understanding. And right now with the whole Gen Z stuff and the political aspect, which I will not get into right now, even though everything is political at this time, um, people will argue. People are going to have their opinion traditionally, morally, idealistically, religiously, and there's going to be this space of where people can meet in understanding. Whether or not somebody's going to take that first step into understanding is a whole different story. So on the 6th, we have transforming of self, power, authenticity into more specific self look. Okay, so again, we're going to be rebalancing internally as well as mentally of where our focus is, how we can be powerful in our own self authenticity. Remember, those masks are falling away and people are what they show you at this time. So when you are your full authentic person, there is no falseness. It's all true. So if I'm in some sweats wearing shoes, I never wear shoes. So it's a very rare occurrence. I'm wearing shoes. I have pink hair and a hat. It is what it is. I'm not coming to you in falseness. I'm coming to you as real. And most people know I never wear shoes. I'm doing a whole quantum leap thing. If you want to see that video, go to Captain Joyful on Instagram if you want to check that video out on quantum leaping. Back to this on the 10th. So between the 10th and the 6th, we're going to have a lot of alignment of true selves. And on the 10th, it is a good day. That means people are letting all those doubts clear out. We're letting all that gunk that stopped us from being authentic fall away, and it's a good day. It's very positive, so it's a time in which to look for signs to confirm that you are on the right path. We're also going to have big surprises between the 10th and the 14th because of movements of Jupiter, and it's going to show us where the payoff is. All these hard works we've been doing between the last 8 weeks to the last 6 months is going to start paying off. So keep your eyes open. It may not be a big sign, it may be something small. And in those small little notes from the universe, that's when we hear the biggest truths. Okay? And so then when we get to the 16th and 18th, Mercury moves into Gemini, everything speeds back up. So in about February, March, everything felt really, really fast. That's because we were moving into that Aries energy, which is boom, 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 especially this fire year. And now we're in Taurus, so things kind of like whoop, and slammed on their brakes. That's okay. Well, when we move from Mercury into Gemini, it's going to speed back up again because now we're clear, we're focused, we know where we're going, we've done the work, and that is when it is a time to communicate. Start speaking not only your truth, but what you're trying to work on because it's not just rebuilding anymore. Now the groundwork is there, you've done the work, now it's time to hold on to it, solidify it, and continue. Okay? So between the 18th and the 19th, hold on. Do not let other people push your boundaries. Do not let people make you doubt your goals, your intention, or what you're trying to create because we've already done the work. The groundwork's there. Don't let people make you lose your footing. Okay? 19th might be a little spicy again. People might have a lot to say and they're going to push boundaries, especially like around your dreams and ambitions. Okay. So then on the 19th, it's gonna be a little bit spicy because on the 20th we got uh voice and vision. So we're able to build and grow with our networks and grow with what we're trying to create. And you should be able to hold on to that because Venus is moving into Cancer. Woo! Going a little bit spicy. So if you are with a loving partner, that is the best time. Babies. On the 22nd, we're going to be learning how to glow and grow with that Venus energy. It's going to be in the home. So the home life is going to be in a good energy, okay? So 22nd, hold your boundaries just a little bit more because other people might not, especially when you're focusing on your relationships and your family life. And on the 29th, we're going to finally get into the big picture. So all this work finally paying off, all this work finally showing up that yes, it's coming through. And then on the 29th, it's like the clouds have lifted, the fog is gone, and people can finally see the big picture like, oh, those things happened for this reason. I had to go through this for this reason. And on the 31st, we have the Sagittarius full moon. This is the blue moon, the second moon this month. We have a great new beginning this day on Beltane, new energy, and then on Sagittarius, which is another fire sign, by the way. More energy, more fire, more oomph to it as we celebrate these paths opening. So when we get to see the big picture, we're like, wow, that's the big picture. It goes, okay, here's all the doors opening. Make a choice. And opportunities are going to move quick. So if you are not in connection with your guys or if you're not in connection and focus on where you're trying to go, it may be a little difficult because you may miss out on opportunities that are literally being handed to you. Okay. So before we continue, I'm going to do one more thing and it's a quote. One of the quotes I wanted to mention, it comes from the Tao and it is, I believe off the top of my head, chapter 64. And it's about stepping into the journey, how one step can move into a journey of 1,000. And what that means is you just got to take that first step. So if you have seen me since the beginning of these YouTubes, you already know I'm not the best when it comes to social media, when it comes to computers or even technology, but I'm here taking my leap of faith, making my own opportunities, and I already took my first step, so I'm already in the midst of my journey of 1,000. And as one journey ends, another begins. So we are bringing in these new opportunities and these new everything. And I personally am so excited. I know a lot of other people are feeling sluggish or slowed down with this energy because a lot of stepping stones aren't in place, so they're tripping, they're crumbling as new paths are being awakened for them because the old ones aren't working no more. But if you've done the work and if you've done, the inner healing, then it's like every day new blessings. So with that, I cannot complain. Thank you guys for listening to this. I'm gonna start our sound bath. So if you are in a quiet location, get comfortable. I'm gonna take my shoes off and get comfortable. I haven't worn shoes in probably a couple weeks, except maybe slides. I don't know. Today I just felt like shoes. And once you're comfortable, take a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I want you to take another one, and this time we're going 4 breaths in. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and out 8 if you can. Out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, and out. Last one. I'm going to play these chimes, and it's going to signal the beginning and the end of the sound bath. Okay? So I want you to close your eyes now and listen. I'd like you to focus on your bottom, on your root chakra. As if it's a bright red flower bursting from just on your tailbone. You focus on your root chakra as if it's merging with the earth. And then that energy is coming up as the flower bursts and the petals open into your sacral, where it's warm and orange, and ideas and creativity burst. And as that flower opens, the energy moves up just a little bit more to the solar plexus, where we heal trauma and we forgive, we hold memories. Imagine that flower, yellow and bright like the sun, petals opening to burst as we move up to the heart, in the center of the chest, where we hold love for self and others. And as that energy builds till it's just about to burst, the flowers open. We're going to move up to the throat so you can speak your truth and communicate openly and authentically. Then we move up as the energy builds to your third eye. And then up again to the crown. sacrum, through your sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. As the energy moves up, beautiful white light comes down, cleansing, getting rid of any and all doubts and all fears, pushing out, releasing, letting go. This beautiful white light. And it comes all the way through from the crown to the root, connecting us to the divine, connecting us to source, connecting us to light, to truth. Sleep doubts and fears to the divine, to God and the universe. We're not going to hold those no more. We're going to love ourselves and internally say, I love myself and who I am, where I'm going, and hold that image. Hold it in your third eye. You could be anything you ever wanted. 100% you. Who would you be? What would you do? Picture it now and hold that image. We are transforming the old life into a new life. Letting go of the old life for the new life. Burning away energy by dancing, singing, laughing, playing. Making space for new energy to be filled again with purpose, with focus, with love, with happiness, with new life and new beginning. Shanti, thank you. Internalize it a bit, sit with it. I'll see you on the 31st. Let me know how changes and transformations happen in your life.